Hi guys, it's Sarah Rich here and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who watched my intro video and are now back for round 2, thank you, really appreciate it. For anyone new here, hi, welcome, and welcome to my crazy little world. If you do like my video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up, and also any comments down below about the video, anything, let me know. I will respond to you guys, and yeah, let's take it away. I have some exciting news. It's so exciting. I am pregnant. So let me just show you guys my bump. Me. Can you see? There's me. I am pregnant. There's a baby in my belly. So me and my husband Jay are having a baby. In today's video I'm going to be talking through how we were trying for a baby, how long we were trying, everything from trying up until where I am now, and I'm just so excited to share this journey with you. So I am currently 26 weeks pregnant, with our little bundle of joy, and today's video I am going to be talking through my first 12 weeks of pregnancy. So I know usually this happens where YouTubers will go through the stages with you as they are progressing as well, but today obviously I'm fairly new. I've recently bitten the bullet and come onto YouTube, so today I am reliving the first 12 weeks of my pregnancy, which is exciting in itself. So at the end of the video I am going to be talking about possibly one of the most stressful and traumatic experiences of my pregnancy and pretty much my adulthood. Where do I even begin? My first 12 weeks of being pregnant was a roller coaster of emotions. I was so happy, like ecstatic, overjoyed, but something happened in the middle of that probably doesn't happen to a lot of women, and it's quite unusual, and it was really hard, like such a hard time and testing time for both me and Jay, and probably one of the most scariest experiences that I've ever had to go through. So I have made a list on my phone of my first 12 weeks, and I want to make sure I've captured everything for you guys and that you know exactly what happened and how. So I guess the first thing to tell you is when we decided to have a baby and when we started trying to have a baby until when we found out. October time, so October 2018, that I turned around to Jay very drunkenly one night, said, "Jay, I think I want a baby now." And his response the next day, while I had a banging headache and I was hungover, and he was like, "Do you even remember what you said last night?" And I was like, yeah, I think I told you I wanted a baby." And he's like, "Yeah, was you being serious?" Yes, I was being serious. So we had the talk, the official baby talk, and yeah, and we both decided we were ready. We'd had our flat for a long time, we were in a really good place in our relationship. Okay, maybe not financially ready, but I mean, who is? And yeah, I think everything kind of felt right. I wasn't on any birth control as I'd had issues over the years with implants and the pill. So I decided to come off of it a few years back, and because I had polycystic ovaries, it was making them worse being on the contraceptive, not actually better. So I came off of that, and then we kind of went old school, you know, condoms. Not particularly great, but an efficient method for birth control. So, you know, we came off all contraceptive methods and we thought, why not, let's just try it. And it took us about 7-8 months to have a baby. Now, in them 7 or 8 months, your emotions are literally all over the place. My vision of getting pregnant was, oh my god, I've decided I'm going to have a baby and it's going to happen like that. No, it doesn't happen like that. And for anyone who it does happen to, because I know there's people out there and it happens super quickly, that is incredible. That is amazing. But for anyone who has been trying for a long time, then, you know, I have a partial idea of how you felt and how you're feeling and what you're going through, because even though it's 7 or 8 months isn't a particularly long time to try for a baby, it's around about average. It's still quite an intense time in your life, because you want something so bad and so. I mean, I'm an impatient. I'm an impatient person, but you want something so bad and you want it now. You want it to happen there and then, and you know. The birds and the bees story tells you that you're going to get pregnant like straight away. You know, if you have sex, unprotected sex, you're going to have a baby. But it doesn't work that way. And I found it really difficult to kind of understand that and get that through my head. And I mean, I'm an impatient person. I want it to happen. If I put my mind to something and I want it to happen there and I want it to happen then, and I was like, I'm going to have a baby and I'm going to get pregnant in January, February, I'm going to have a baby in September time, it's going to be perfect. But obviously it just doesn't happen that way. And while you're trying for that baby, it's the most stressful time in your life, not only for us women but for the men as well. The pressure that they put themselves through is just indescribable. You know, they're worried about their productivity, I guess, and we're worried about our productivity, and you know, whether or not, I mean, the thoughts going through my head when I was trying for a baby were, have I left it too late? Have I got enough good eggs? You know, am I able to carry a baby? Because I hadn't fallen pregnant before, before now. So obviously the faults are there, you know. Am I going to be able to have children? Can I handle having children? You know, and it's a scary time. And every month when you are due on your period and you're like standing there thinking, this is the month, and like you have to be positive, because if you're negative, it just makes everything 10 times worse. So you're literally so excited, and you know, and then Aunt Flo visits and you're like, okay, not this month, but maybe next month. And then the next month comes and it happens again, and you're like, oh man, like, when is this baby coming? Like, we are trying like mad. Like, where is his baby? But yeah, obviously it doesn't happen overnight for some people, and for us it didn't. It took us 7 months. On July the 18th, 2019, our lives changed forever. And it was honestly one of the best days of my life. I remember taking the pregnancy test, even though Jay had already had a go at me, because every month I take 5 or 6 pregnancy tests and they'd all come out negative, and I was getting a little bit disheartened. But this time round I was like, I'm going to take a pregnancy test, and Jay was like, no, well, just wait until, you know, you're due on, and if nothing happens then you can take one. I was like, okay. It was like two days before my period due, and I was just like, no, I'm going to take a test. So I did, and I'm sitting there and it's come back positive, and I'm just literally, I've got the little stick in my hand, and I'm like, oh my god, oh my god. I mean, you've been waiting for this moment for the last 7 months of your life, and I just couldn't believe it. I genuinely couldn't believe that I am now pregnant. This is amazing. So I'm in shock, and I've just kind of walked out and said to Jay, look at this, I'm pregnant. And then we literally spent the next 30 minutes walking around our flat, just staring at this little wee stick and thinking, oh my god, this isn't happening. This is just ridiculous. Mind blown. Okay, so my first 12 weeks of pregnancy. Oh gosh. At the time, you're like going through so many different emotions, and your head is just so crazy that you don't really know what's going on or what's happening until you sit down and reflect on what's happened like months later, and it's just so crazy. So I found out I was 3 weeks pregnant on July the 18th. So I thought the first thing you had to do was book a doctor's appointment. Called the doctors, booked in an appointment with her, and she basically told me, you know, you can self-refer yourself to a midwife in Queens, which is our local hospital. And I was like, oh, okay. I kind of, you know, you see it in the movies where they go to the doctors and they do like a urine sample, and it's all confirmed, it's all very exciting. But no, that didn't happen. You know, I said, oh, she was like, have you taken a pregnancy test? Yes, it came out positive. I said, okay, great, you can self-refer yourself. I was like, oh, okay. So I did. So they book you in for your first appointment when you're about 12 weeks. But then I started getting some pains in my left ovary, on the side of your stomach, just really low down. And having had PCOS for a few years, and recently been diagnosed with it, I just called the doctor and said, look, I'm a bit concerned. I've been having these pains in my ovaries. Is that an issue? So she put me in for an early pregnancy scan, just to make sure that, you know, everything was in the correct place. There was no issues or problems. And that was booked in for the 13th of August. Now, we were actually going on holiday with both of our families. So my family and Jay's family are really, really close. And we usually go to Turkey every year and get 2 big villas, and that's what we did this year. We had my family come in, Jay's family, who consists of loads of kids and sisters and brother-in-laws and parents. So there was a good like 16, 17 of us that flew out to Turkey. Literally a week or 10 days before we went on holiday, I started getting morning sickness. Now, I was lucky that I didn't actually throw up and vomit everywhere, but I still had that really like sicky, yucky, like nauseous feeling for about 10 days, and I was just like, oh, I felt like death. I felt like crap, and like I needed to eat regularly and eat dry stuff, and I don't even know, like nothing really helped. I just felt ugh. And here's me thinking, oh my god, now I'm gonna have to go on holiday and pretend everything's fine. But luckily when we got to Turkey a few days in, it was fine, everything was okay. I was just a bit fussy with my food, and I managed to avoid telling people throughout the whole 2 weeks, 10 days we were there. I think we was there for 10 days. Yeah, and it was an amazing holiday. We had so much fun. I tried keeping out of the sun too much, and I was getting really tired. One of my main pregnancy symptoms in the first 12 weeks was tiredness. I just wanted to sleep all the time. So luckily for me, I like my sleep anyway. So I'm known as the sleepy lazy person in the family. I would sleep till quite late. I'd get up, go down, put her around, have some sunbathing in, and then I'd go for an afternoon nap, and no one blinked an eye. And it was amazing. So I think it just like maybe 1 or 2 people throughout the trip, questioned if I was feeling okay, and I just kind of brushed it off and was like, yeah, it's the sun makes me tired. And the way we hid our pregnancy on that holiday was, I still bought alcohol. I still ordered a glass of red wine or a cocktail, and Jay would drink it, and I would also order at the same time a soft drink, a bottle of water or a Pepsi, and I would have the soft drink and Jay would be drinking the cocktail while no one was looking. And thankfully, because there was such a big group of us, no one actually paid attention. So it was really sneaky of us, but it worked. So yay! We got through the first family holiday without anyone finding out or anyone being suspicious that we were pregnant. And I was like, yes, we've made it through. I need like another few more weeks to go and we can tell everyone. So when we got back from Turkey, I had my early scan, which was booked in with the doctor at the hospital. The scan showed everything was fine, everything was in the right place, and there was a little baby in there moving around. She was a little tiny dot, and it was just so cute to see. Then I go back to work as normal that week, and on the Friday I was in work, I was sitting at my desk and I was thinking, oh, I've got a bit of indigestion. So thankfully I had some indigestion tablets to hand, took some of those, which you can take whilst you're pregnant, so they're just Rennies. So I made sure that I could take them, took that, had some lunch, and as the day got on, it got progressively worse. The pain moved from about here, so at the top of my stomach, pain moved here, it went right down. Let me stand up. So it started here, and then it went right down to about here. So it went quite low down in my stomach to the right hand side, and I just remember thinking, oh my god, this is really painful, like what is this? And for some reason I felt that it wasn't anything to do with the baby, but obviously you do worry and you do panic. I was only 8 weeks pregnant now, and I'm thinking, I'm getting this pain near my baby, what on earth is it? And I drove myself to the doctors. How? I have no idea. Like, just pure sheer will, I think. And I remember that I had tears streaming down my face. I must have looked an absolute mess to everyone sitting in that doctor's surgery. And I physically couldn't stand up, so I'm like walking like with a hunchback, like as I just couldn't move. So I sit in the doctor's seat and I just tell him my pain and what's been going on, tell him that I'm 8 weeks pregnant. So he asked me to do a pregnancy test, which I did, and thankfully confirmed that I was still pregnant. So after his examination, he said, I think you need to go to A&E, and I think you need to go now. So we waited there for about 3 hours. I was in so much pain. We hadn't eaten anything since lunch, and you know, Jay doesn't want to leave my side because I'm in that much pain. I saw the triage nurse, who I handed him a letter that the doctor had given me, and he called the surgery. The surgeons then told us to go straight up to the surgical assessment unit, where I was told by a consultant within 5 minutes of arriving that I was going to need surgery. Sorry, surgery? I'm thinking I'm going to have some antibiotics, or you know, they're going to give me some stronger pain relief and I can go home and be on my way. There's no way that I expected to have surgery at 8 weeks pregnant. Surgery at all. Ask him for a second opinion. He pretty much says, I'm 100% sure you have an appendicitis and it needs to come out as soon as possible. We're going to prep you for surgery, monitor you over the next 6 hours. If anything happens, we'll rush you into surgery. If not, then we'll prep you for surgery at 9 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so at this point I hadn't even told anyone that I was experiencing pain other than my husband Jay, as they didn't know I was pregnant. I didn't want to, I didn't know what was going on with me, and I thought it was something to do with the baby, so I didn't want to obviously tell them. So me and Jay decided that we would just quickly call my parents, and his parents let them know that I was being rushed into hospital for an emergency appendectomy. Yeah, but we didn't want to tell them anything to do with the baby. But I already had a consultation with the surgeon and the consultant booked in for the following morning, which would talk me through the different ways to have the surgery, the risks involved with it, the risks involved with the baby, and everything that I needed to know, basically. My sister was adamant that she was going to come down on the Saturday morning before my surgery, so she came down at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning, and obviously I had all the consultants and the surgeons and the anaesthetists coming in and talking to me, and so we decided there and then that we were going to have to tell my sister that we were pregnant, and there was a risk that we could lose the baby in the surgery. Obviously she was over the moon for us. She was so excited that we were pregnant, but then also really worried that, you know, there was a chance that we could like lose this baby. So it's a little bit tougher than I thought talking about this. consultant and the surgeon were very pro the laparoscopic, which is where they don't open cut you, they go in through keyhole, and what his words were, we can avoid, if we go in via the belly button and the side, we can avoid the uterus and bypass the baby, so we can quickly remove the appendix and fix you up, and it's less risk for the baby. My only concern was the risk involved of losing the baby. I was high risk for 72 hours after the surgery. If we made it the 72 hours after the surgery, it was good news, and it was more likely that everything was fine with the baby. So we went ahead with the surgery. It was all very rushed. I genuinely had no idea what was going on, but everyone at that hospital, from the A&E staff right the way through to when I left, was absolutely fantastic. I honestly can't fault anyone who worked there and helped me out whilst I was there. So I had the surgery. I woke up from the surgery really groggy and out of it, and the first thing I asked was, is my baby okay? And she said, as far as I know, yes, everything went well. The surgeon's happy, but he'll come round and see you once you're fully woken up. So I get back to the ward, and my husband and my sister is there waiting for us, and then the surgeon comes and tells me that the surgery was successful and that the baby was okay. He didn't go anywhere near the baby whatsoever, and he's really happy with the results. I stayed in hospital on the Friday night and the Saturday night, went home Sunday afternoon, and I was in so much pain. I was told the recovery period would be different for every person, but because I was pregnant, it would probably take me longer, and they really didn't want me moving about, so I was told bed rest for a week, and then after that, very light movements. So I stayed in bed for the week. Jay was an amazing husband. You'll find out through all of my videos how amazing he truly is. But he took a bit of time off work and he looked after me. So the main struggle for me was because where he had cut into my stomach, there was about a scar this big from my belly button down and either side of my belly as well, and it was getting up and down from the bed. So being pregnant, you need a wee every 5 minutes, and it was just a nightmare trying to get up and down in bed. But we made it through. We went for our midwife appointment and also our checkup scan after the surgery, where we were told everything was fine, and it was a very emotionally intense day for us to know that our little baby was fine and she was healthy. I think the shock from emergency surgery and then the recovery period really took it out of me. I slept a lot during those 2 weeks recovery period, and I just don't think I processed it in my head what had actually happened, because those 2 weeks were just a blur. I was sleeping, eating, taking paracetamol, sleeping, eating, doing the process all over again. And I just didn't really appreciate the severity of the surgery and the fact that I have a human growing inside me. So that when we had our checkup scan, the 72 hours later, it was just such a relief. I remember laying there and I remember being so nervous and so so worried that something had gone wrong, even though I hadn't had any like feelings, but obviously you can't feel your baby move that early on, so you don't know what's happening inside of you. And I remember just laying there having that scan done and being really worried that not everything was okay. Like my anxiety was sky high, like super high, and laying there in that chair, and when she did the exam, she just yeah, everything's, that's her heartbeat. And I just remember breaking down in tears and just sending a prayer up to, you know, the big man in the sky, that my little baby was still there inside of my belly. And I just remember thinking, oh, thank you, like, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, because we had wanted this little baby for so long that it was here, and she was still fine, even though we'd been through this like horrible ordeal. That I was just really thankful. I mean, I really didn't expect to cry. It's been such a whirlwind, and we've really tried to look at the positives over the last kind of however many weeks. That it's not very often that we sit down and we talk about what's actually happened. And I were due to go on another family holiday in September, and I remember saying to Jay, I don't know if I'm going to be able to travel because of the surgery, and also because of the pregnancy. And I was really worried, and we had sought out advice from the doctors and the surgeons, who advised us we were perfectly safe to fly, and that just to take it easy. But we've got to tell our parents first that we're having a baby. We couldn't go on an all-inclusive holiday trip to Mexico and be almost 12 weeks pregnant without telling them. This was very important, that we had to tell them. I just had surgery, and we just had the all clear. You know, we'd had about 6 or 7 scans in total now. This baby was here to stay, so we needed to tell the family. So how we revealed the big news of our little baby Rich to our parents.